the proposal development from DAEs and helping guide them through that process and submitting that to the GCF. And when those are approved, that counts towards that mobilization number. And then I work with UCLGA in the startup of the fund, the FTF fund, which is the fund I mentioned that would be more targeted to sub-national level funding. That's also part of that target that they're working on. So it's not that USAID has $150 billion to give out of its own funding. It's the goal of helping to mobilize that from a variety of different actors. I hope that helps clarify.
Thank you very much. And then from that, we can presume that the criteria will depend on which window the funds will be utilizing. But specifically, the criteria, additional criteria that will be set by the SAID. Is that correct? Okay, good. So hopefully that on espère ça répond un peu à votre question.
I hope that this has answered your question in a way. Thank you so much.
Any other questions or comments? Yes, Kofi, please.
Thank you. It's just a contribution regarding a question that's been made on the first presentation, namely the question from Aguilar, who asked interaction between the AI and the regional communities at the level of Africa. So I just want to tell him that honestly, AI is still working on the situation of organizational framework. So the question of the alignments, the collaboration with the regional communities actually is an aspect we are working on right now. In the sense that already the AI takes part in the meetings at the level of African Union, Conference of CG, and so on. And at the regional level, these acknowledgements of the initiative of the level of Africa for better impacts and a better collaboration with the LCNCCs. I understand the basic of his question, because he was at the level of ECOWAS, and we need stakeholders like him to be able to put in place this situation so that we have this collaboration and ensure this alignment. And second thing, from 2025, there will be a work that will try to collect all initiatives in terms of adaptation in Africa and to see how this could be the leader or ensure the coordination of all these initiatives so we can go in the same track, in the same sense. But there are many initiatives, but how can we work in the synergic way, harmonious way, to be able to ensure not only the efficiency of the projects, but the management of the resources is something fundamental that we're going to work on from 2025 to ensure this efficiency of the projects and the management. Thank you, Kofi. Maybe you add other elements during the presentations, because as you are one of the champions in terms of strategies, elaboration of strategies, country strategies, and at the regional level. Mr. Gunya, I hope that this contribution has helped you, get an answer to your questions. Other interventions, other questions? Okay, the question is, when are you going to eat? Okay, I think we are left with some few minutes. We'll be ready very soon. So, okay. Okay, you can go on, please. Thank you. I want to thank the first presenter when she lays emphasis on the infrastructures of transport. That if you see the vulnerability of climate change, we need water, we need to transport water. So you have infrastructure to carry water from one place to another one. From for agriculture, we need to transport the crops from one place to another. Okay. So if the transport means are still elements, that will pollute the climate. That is not good. So now I was happy with the answer that she gave. I think coastal countries, oh, African coastal countries whose roads are used by the Sahelian countries to carry their products. So it should be able to do maintenance of our infrastructures, to continue to do a good maintenance. We also try to find solution to produce a level of pressure and water, but we're going to lose our points in doing that. Thank you. Which one, Vuvule?
Yes, I just wanted to add to the conversation, particularly the question that was asked with regards to some of the challenges that we have as African countries within the GCF. I just wanted to highlight tweets, because I work for the AI, but I'm also the lead negotiator on adaptation for Africa within the UNFCCC climate change discussion. So I wanted to emphasize the point of negotiations and how all of these challenges that we are having, we as African countries need to communicate these and have conversations in our own countries with our national. Why I'm saying this is because one, we actually have an agenda item in the negotiations called guidance to the GCF. Am I correct? Guidance to the GCF. And this guidance is given by parties. So the GCF board doesn't sit there and develop its own policies and its programs and priority areas, strategic areas. This is a fund that actually reports to parties, to countries. I want to really emphasize this point because we see this GCF as, as an animal out there and it creates its own things. No. It's actually serving us as parties, as governments. When we have challenges with accessing it, we need to communicate that so that it is now in the processes and a decision is made that will then go to the board every year at COP, because they report to the COP. Every year at COP, there is an agenda item. So I want to emphasize the point about when we go back to our countries, how we need to communicate these challenges. I remember, and you can correct me because you work at the GCF, you worked at the GCF around simplified approval processes. It came about because of the challenges that African countries were having with regards to accessing financing. I talked about the $3 million for NAPS. Again, that came also as a recommendation that was taken up by the board that came from parties. So that's for me extremely important. But not just guidance to the parties, the negotiations also, in addition to just guidance to the parties and adaptation, we can come up priorities and ensure that work is conducted under these priorities. For example, I talked about infrastructure. We pushed for that as Africa, particularly informal settlements and infrastructure and roads, and even just infrastructure on energy and all of that. Even energy, even though it's a mitigation, there's an adaptation component because of the infrastructure, when you have to deal with adaptation issues and it can be affected and there's no energy at the end of the day. We also brought in as Africa health and climate change. This is an important element as well for us because even the IPCC AR6 told us that we are having mortalities, deaths because of heat strokes, and mortalities because of extreme events, deaths and sicknesses and illnesses and diseases and pests and all sorts of things. We are beginning to see that. So the link between climate change and health, the link between climate change and infrastructure and settlements and informal settlements was brought up in the negotiations on adaptation. So I want to emphasize this feedback loop that we need to strengthen between what is going on here and what needs to go back to the negotiations, the political negotiations, and how the political negotiations then make decisions for us to come back here. I don't know if we can see that cycle, the feedback loop that is important. So I just wanted to emphasize that as well, so that we engage more at a country level with our negotiations, and also engage with the board members. The African board members, they are serving our interests as well. They're sitting there on our behalf. Seni, Ambassador Seni Nafo, who is now the chair. And I think we have, I think Uganda. South Africa is leaving at the end of the year. There's going to be Uganda. There's going to be Botswana, not me. There's going to be Botswana. There's also going to be, I'm not sure who the fourth, Egypt, I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, but there are four. There's the member and then there's the alternate and so on. So another element for us, importantly, is also to engage with these African board members. And I'm hoping that through this platform, we can invite them here, one of our meetings. I think that would be very interesting. I think it's a good idea here. I mean, Seni is the board chair. Next meeting, we actually should bring them here so that we can have a conversation. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Kultum. And I do confirm indeed that the response for GCF, the response to give to what the CUP, communicates on is very important. And every year it is part of one of the things that we have to do. And the GCF, whenever they go to the CUP, one of their duties is to report to the CUP what they've done as far as responding to what the previous CUP, told them that they had to implement and changes on and etc. So it's very important. Thank you for doing that, Kultum. Thank you also for being the example of the SAP. Simplified approval process, which, by the way, because thanks to this type of feedback, has been modified 2 years ago, so as now to enable a larger threshold, so we can now have the simplified process with a little bit more funds, and also really simplify even the procedure that was used, including, for instance, the level of approval that was involved in that. So this is very important also. And I would like to take advantage also to emphasize that as MBAs, we can use the resources of readiness in order to play this crucial role of convening so as to be able to reach out in the country to who the authorities are, who will end up going to representing the countries in the negotiations so that they are aware of what the specific issues are. What the MBAs have available to them in the readiness pocket can also be used for these coordination and reach out activities. So please don't hesitate to make use of that, Okay, well, thank you very much. Yes, Annette?
Thank you, Chair. I would like to say thank you to my sister from Botswana, Kutu, that you mentioned about the health section that has been implemented, because it's really important for us, and a lot of MDA or focal point that we are not aware of it. So it's a great opportunity that you mentioned. And also, instead of, this is just my thought, instead of waiting for big meetings to implement or to report new changes to the GCF. Let's say in my case, myself, what I did, I contact someone from the health sector to tell them that we have a good opportunity that we can be engaged and be funded. And as you mentioned, also as a simplified approval process, before it was 10 million and now it's up to 25 million, which is a great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Annette. So, I think and then of course, if we still have some more ideas, don't hesitate, we can have a discussion, and then we can share ideas and thoughts for lunch to be ready. So, thank you, Kamala. Thanks again, Melissa. Thank you, Kuntum. Sorry about that. I'll do that. Yes, I'll use this. Actually, I wanted to take training.